Countless thousands of refugees had traveled huge distances, only to find they would have to travel again. There was no safety at the end of the road. For many, the journey ended at Vung Tau, on the coast not far from Saigon. And what the refugees found most often was heartbreak and misery. Bob Simon reported.
This is the end of the refugee trail, Vung Tau, the fashionable coastal resort 2 hours from Saigon, with people arriving every day courtesy of the Navy. This ship sailed from Cam Ranh Bay 4 days ago. Its cargo, 20,000 human beings. There was no food on board, very little water. Many people died, no one knows how many. The corpses were thrown overboard. The ship sailed from Cam Ranh, but the people are from Quảng, Hue, Kon Tum, Pleiku, Da Nang, Quy Nhon, Nha Trang. All those names, all those places abandoned by the government and the army of South Vietnam. Saigon says people fled to escape communist rule. Hanoi says it was because of American and South Vietnamese propaganda. But that's not what the people say. People say it was not politics, not propaganda, it was panic. They left their homes because everyone else was leaving, the soldiers, the civil servants, their neighbors. The fear was contagious, overpowering. The No family left Kon Tum in a truck. Near Quy Nhon, the communists shelled the road. No Tan Hue, 25 years old, a teacher, was badly wounded. He'd been leading the family, making the decisions. When they got to Quy Nhon, they saw that people weren't stopping, so they continued. When they got to Da Nang, they saw government troops running wild, so they continued. When they got to Cam Ranh, they scrambled onto fishing boats to get to this ship. When they got on board, No Tan Hue realized his mother, 2 sisters, and 2 brothers were missing. There was nothing he could do. No Tan Hue is treated for his wounds and taken away in an ambulance. The rest of the family will have to continue without him. His father, a potato farmer, is now in charge. They're ordered to get out of the naval base onto the road. A truck will take them to a refugee camp. They wait 2 hours, but no trucks come. Finally, they're told there are no trucks because the refugee camp is full. What the No family missed by not getting into the camp was the company of 100,000 people, some order, a little food, and a large military presence. The soldiers are not here to prevent the North Vietnamese from getting in. They're here to prevent the refugees from getting out. Saigon doesn't want them around. The No family doesn't know what to do. A man with a lambretta offers to take them to a nearby Catholic mission for 1,000 piastres. People are still making money from this war. It may be their last chance. The family only has 5,000 piastres, but they take the gamble. It doesn't pay off. The gates of the mission are locked. The priests tell them to go away. There's no more room. Another lambretta driver, another 1,000 piastre demand, another decision. But they have no choice. This trip takes them to a soccer stadium. It will be their last trip for the day, probably for several days, maybe for a lot longer. A man from Hue shows them pictures of his family, the family he hasn't seen in 10 days. He wants to know if the No family has come across them. They explain that they're from Kon Tum, not Hue, that they've taken a different route, but the man doesn't understand. An official tells them there's no food, no facilities in the stadium, but assures them it's only temporary. They'll be moving on very soon. It's not the first promise they've heard from a government official. But what they really want to know is whether No Tan Hue, when he's released from the hospital, will ever find them. What they really want to know is whether his mother, 2 sisters, and 2 brothers, drowned in Cam Ranh, are trapped there, or made it onto another ship. They may never find out. Bob Simon, CBS News, Vung Tau.